and welcome to the Enchantress Society with Tia Johnson, a place where you get to be you, where you get to unlock your magic in a sacred and judgment free zone. The Enchantress Society is your witchy sisterhood of enchanting women who guides and supports you along your spiritual journey from the mundane to the magical. I invite you to sit for a spell as I interview guests and spill the spiritual tea on how we can create the magical life we deserve. I was so, again, excited is the key word. There's really no other word to describe it, but I was just so pumped up to talk about the oracle card and Hecate. The oracle card I pulled and Hecate that I almost forgot to hit the record button. I was about to just start talking. That would have sucked. Welcome back, Enchantress, to this Dark Goddess series, part 1. We are going to be discussing witch goddess Hecate. She is also, or I use her name as the nickname for the witch goddesses in the Enchantress Coven. So if you're not inside the Enchantress Coven, I don't know what you're waiting for. It is a lot of juicy spiritual information to get you from point A to B to D to F to Z, among other things. So head on over to tiamariejohnson.com/, the Enchantress Coven. The link is in the description of this episode. It is a monthly membership service where you will receive goddess themed training, monthly goddess oracle reading, a workbook, bonuses, among other things. So check it out. It is for women who are in the beginning stages of uncovering and discovering who they are in their magic, all the way up to the more well-versed woman who is looking to focus now on her legacy. Okay? And as also her spiritual counsel. I was just, I just hear the goddesses saying spiritual counsel too. So in addition to your legacy, you're also working on your spiritual counsel. And you know what I'm talking about when I say that. So anyway, here we are, Dark Goddess series, part 1, Hecate. So if you are just tuning in, we have an episode before this one, the Morrigan. And this is part 1, as I stated, of the Goddess series. There will be a part 2 because there are more goddesses to discuss, as opposed to having like part 1, the Morrigan, part 2, Hecate, and like part 3, Lilith, and so forth. And so the dark god, when I say dark, and if you heard the Morrigan episode, just bear with me for a moment. Some people tune in at different times for whatever reason. Okay. So when I say dark, it is not evil versus good. It's not white magic versus black magic. It has nothing to do with skin tone or anything like that. Because, okay, so first and foremost, there is no such thing as good and bad magic. It's how people choose to use it. And there's no such thing as white magic versus black magic. Again, that's made up, not true. It's just like money. Money is money until you choose to use it for good or bad, or not at all. You just have it sitting there not doing anything, right? It's yours. What you want to do with it is your prerogative, but you are the person that directs it towards good or evil. So that's the first and foremost thing there. Dark goddesses are the ones who take on shadow work, what's in the shadows. They take on going to the underworld, meeting you at the crossroads to talk about, death, transformation, protection, rebirth, shadow work, prophecy, so much more. These are the goddesses who run towards the flame, not away from it. Just to put in a little bit more like physical world perspective. Okay. They would be like the firefighters, the military, like they're going towards a conflict to solve it. They're not running away from it. Or even someone who just stands up for someone who can't stand up for themselves. They go in there, okay? And they help us to uncover things about ourselves, okay? They help us to, just not give a fuck and live life the way we see fit, especially when we get to Freya, right? She's the goddess of sex, fertility, love, war. You know what type of woman you have to be to not only be proud of who you are, have confidence, but also to have confidence in your sexual life, because women can't win in some ways, and I'm not saying this in a way to make it an affirmation. I don't even like saying it. But what I mean is, according to society standards, women just can't win. The dress is too long, you're a prude, you're corny. The dress is too short, oh, you're a whore. It's ridiculous. If you have children, oh, well, what else are you going to do? Are you going to be a stay-at-home mom? Oh, you don't want to work? If you don't have children, oh, why don't you want to have children? They're a blessing. And it goes on and on and on. I heard so many stories from people, the way people talk to them because of a life decision that they made. It's ridiculous. So what I'm saying here is, these goddesses live their lives according to them. And it's not saying that the other goddesses don't. It's just that, as I stated in a previous episode, some things are more better received than others. For example, I want you to pay attention how your body feels. When you're working with the goddess for self-love, you might be a little bit more like, okay, cool, self-love. It's probably like, maybe pedicures, bath, taking the nice bath with the cute bubble bath stuff there. And yeah, it's a little bit more well received. Even if you have issues with loving yourself, it's still easier to hear self-love as opposed to doing shadow work. Shadow work is a little heavier, So, a money goddess, right? Oh, let's work with goddess Abuntia, Fortuna, Lakshmi. Let's work with these goddesses for abundance and, financial security, stuff like that. Let's work with these. It's a little bit more easier to take in. Even if you have some reservations about money, you still want it. Even if you think money is the root of all evil and too much money leaves people, thinking they're better than, which not true. Again, it just amplifies what's already within the person, just like when you're drinking alcohol, whatever's within you, that gets amplified. Okay. So you think like that, like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I'll see what she's saying, because I could use some more money, as opposed to dealing with transformations, which has to do with change, right? Change isn't easy for some people because there's a lot of unknown, or dealing with the death of and figuratively saying, like, ending a relationship or a situation. Sometimes it's hard for people to end something when they rather hang on to that one good thing that happened. So, pay attention how you felt when I described those things, because that's the very things that happen. So that's why some of these goddesses either get a bad rep, or you don't hear them talked about as much, because it's dark. Shadow work is dark. Transformation is dark, right? Think about when the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. It's in a dark cocoon, right? We have to travel through that darkness. When we close our eyes and we're meditating or trying to get focused, what do we see? Darkness, right? We got to get through that to get to the light, And it's not saying the darkness is bad. Again, it's not bad. It's just a path, right? And there's going to be other times where you're going to be in a path where it's more light, it's illuminated, and what's in the light is just things that were in the shadow, and you put the spotlight on it, and then boom, here you go. So there's two things I want to tell you. Actually, I want to start off with the oracle card before I get into everything about Hecate. But so that's the background of the term dark when we're using dark goddess. Okay, it's good to know these things, because one day you're going to have to explain your belief. Okay, or even have a conversation with it, or debunk something. You just never know. All right, so when I was talking about De Morgan, I explained who she is, a little bit of her backstory, why we should work with her, how we can work with her associations, and oracle reading. And I told you how she entered my dream and how Hecate entered my dream. So with this, I want to start off with the oracle card and something I saw on Instagram. So we're actually two things. When I finished recording the Morgan episode, I looked down at my my screen, and normally I don't look at my Facebook notification when they pop up on my screen. My computer for my business is really my computer for my business. I really don't spend too much time doing anything else. So it just so happens I had Facebook up and I was posting in the Facebook group. So I had Facebook up and my friend had posted, hold on, I thought I had it right here in front of me. My friend had a post, she was going live. And, you know, you get a preview of the title. So you don't see the whole thing. But here's, if you're on the email list, if you're on my VIP email list, and you already know this and you already know what it looks like, which is even crazier when you see what this notification looks like. So if you're not on the email list, you missed out. If you haven't been following me on Instagram, you missed out because I literally posted it right after I recorded the episode. And so the notification was by Marisa. So if you're not following her, go ahead on Instagram. She's at Create the Rules on Instagram, Marisa Lowen. And the title of her live was Your Sovereign Power Mentor, and then ... And then underneath there, it stated 33 minutes ago. So I don't even know why that was still there, because that was something that happened 33 minutes ago. Maybe, it had to have been like the last message that was, I'm gonna just stay there. And I don't know, but it was crazy. I didn't see it. And it just popped up. So the Morgan, again, if this is where you're picking up the second episode of this series, the Morgan is the sovereign goddess, or she's one of them. That's one of her names as well. The Phantom Queen, sovereign goddess. And 33, the number 3 means that ascended masters and other divine beings are working with you. So it literally states your sovereign power mentor does. And Morgan is normally called the Morgan. That just blew. I took a picture of, a snapshot of it right away. I sent it to my email list. I posted it on my Instagram because that's how it works. I had explained in the previous episode, you know, how we can connect with the goddesses and things that pop up to let us know that they are here. And so I told them to put it into a sentence. That's how one of the things I do in my teachings is, when you see these different messages, put it in a sentence, it'll make sense. So in this case, it's my sovereign power mentor is the Morgan. She is here to help me, blah, 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 blah. Or let me see, what did I write? Where's that email? Anyway, I gave them some sentences to say when they put those messages together. In that case, that message. So what I got for, and I'm going to apply this to the Hecate, this Hecate episode. Now, this is a message I saw before I started recording this. It goes, you're frustrated because it's taking too long. But who told you how long it's supposed to take? You are so close to what you want, just relax. And this is by Logan, the spiritual hustler. She's on Instagram. She was also one of the speakers at the Unlock Your Magic Summit. So she's at spiritual hustler on Instagram. And again, she was also part of the Unlock Your Magic Summit. So if you didn't attend the summit, you can sign up. You can get all the videos. It's tiamariejohnson.com, Unlock Your Magic Summit, and you'll get it. So yeah. Now let's go to the oracle reading. So we have that, and this time, and that was timely for me because I do get frustrated easily. I'm so impatient. I know I've been saying this probably for as long as this podcast has been up and running. I'm not as impatient as I used to be, but I'm still impatient. So the fact that I saw that before I recorded this makes me think that someone else needed to hear that. But Hecate is here to help us speed up the process a little bit. Here's why. Just like in the previous episode, this card also states one of the words describing the dark goddesses, and that's transformation. So check out the previous episode to learn what that oracle card was. All right. So I have a feeling we might just go through all these keywords. And let me see, there's 5 goddesses that we're going to talk about total. So we have 3 more left. What are the last 3 words? Let me see. Okay. Yeah. So I'm curious what the next oracle card is going to state. But we had transformation. And it's a beautiful butterfly, which is funny because that's the vision that I got to explain to you guys. You know, the cocoon is dark. This is what the caterpillar, you know, goes through and sees darkness before it becomes this beautiful butterfly. And so with Hecate, and again, I'm going to get into a few in a moment, what she's all about. But just starting off, she's the queen of witches. She meets people at the crossroads. She is the light bearer and light bearer. I said bearer. Where that light bearer? She's a light bearer. And she will guide you. Okay. But she's the tough love woman. Whenever I work with her, she's always saying, no, you're my sister. Because I'm just like Mother Hecate, you know, and she doesn't have any kids. You know, some goddesses are, you know, mothers to, you know, so and so, but she's not a mom. So maybe that's why. But also, I know people would say like I'm the daughter of Hecate, something like that, because they follow her, right? But with the transformation, she's here to let us know that you're not going to be the same, and that's the point. You know, because so many times people try to scare us into not changing. Oh, you don't want to make too much money because, you know, money changes people. Oh, you don't want to lose too much weight because, you know, you're going to get the wrong attention. It's like, what? No. People get the wrong attention just by walking down the street because people are assholes sometimes. You know, like it's not, money doesn't change you. Money enhances who you are. And people who know you have money, they try to, you know, be on your good side just to get the money. Yes, it does bring about some attention, but when we don't even have to step outside for people to do stuff like that because of the internet now. You understand? So when people say things like that, you now have a counter. You have a rebuttal for that. Okay, so when those thoughts pop up in your mind, oh, you know what, maybe I shouldn't focus on lifting weights and getting toned. I don't want to get too toned because then I won't look feminine enough. Screw all that. Screw all that. Oh, I don't look like the other moms. So don't. Those other moms are corny. They're muggles. But in all seriousness, that's the point, to not be the same. The core you will always be there, that funny, lovable, quirky, creative, sexy, beautiful, intuitive, you know, on it, you know, never miss a beat person that you are. That will never change. That's your essence, right? But I'm talking about is maybe you do want to lift weights to get toned. Maybe you want to compete in something. Maybe it was something that you told yourself to do that because people like you don't, you know, people who look like you don't do that, or, you know, maybe you shouldn't do that because that's going to be crazy. You know, you don't want anybody to think that you're crazy. No, that is out the door. It's just like I saw this reel of well, several women at this point now. I've seen it done so many times where the woman says, "Oh, boys say, oh, you know, women wear too much makeup, but they're not even the same person." Like that's the point, stupid. I didn't do this to look the same, and that's the point. Makeup, you know, it enhances your beauty, or it gives a look that you're going for, whether it's that creative, whimsical look, the fiery, wild woman, badass look, the dainty look, or like, you know, some I don't know, Star Wars look, taken into another level with the cosplay. So many levels to it. It's art, artistry, makeup is art. It's it's doing its job. Okay, people want to put parameters around it, like, oh yeah, makeup's good if you have a scar. No, makeup's good if you want to wear makeup. Another one was, oh yeah, yeah, wigs are nice if you have cancer. You get a wig. No, you get a wig if you want to wear a wig. Some people who have cancer, they don't wear wigs. They're like, you know what? I'm going to tackle this on headstrong. I'm not wearing a wig. I am going to look how I look. So that's what I'm saying. I have seen so many times people try to, again, put these stipulations. Oh, it's okay to get a little, Botox above the brow, but don't get a BBL. Who are you? Who are you? Who said you get to make the rules? And that's what Hecate is here to remind you. When you are going through these decisions, because that's a crossroad, you're at a crossroads. You can go A, you can go B, you can go C, right? There are many ways you can go. But just know that when you make these decisions, you are becoming a new person, right? You're shedding the old, that you that maybe was too nice to people. Oh yeah, no, you're calling back your power, right? That person who is just so emotionally in tune into everyone. Oh, we're going to call back some of that power. We're going to set up some boundaries. So when you walk in a room, you're not picking up on 25 different people's emotions, right? When you go somewhere and people want a reading or they want all this done, you want to say no. Or maybe you just want to take up space. You're just tired of the same old, and you need something new, and there's something in you that's just clawing, wanting to get out. Just it's a fire within you that just wants that little knob to get turned up. And there's something there that's like not letting it. Well, now's the time. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Like, even I'm just going to envision my people graduating from school with a master's degree and stuff like that. Doctorates, there's someone going for the doctorate's degree. So it's just like, you're not the same person you were before you graduated. Now you have acronyms after your name, right? You're not the same person. You're just not. And that's okay. And that's what this transformation card is reminding us, is that it's okay to not be who you once were, because you're bigger, badder, bolder. You're the 2.0 now. So let's get into it. Who is Hecate? Queen of the underworld, queen of the night, and protectress of all witches. She is represented as the crone and aspects of the triple moon goddess, though it is often seen as the triple goddess unto herself. So basically, like three of her same faces, or very similar faces. She is the queen of heaven, earth, and underworld. So she is, as far as I can tell now, and I say that because there are always new texts coming out that are getting translated, that have been around since forever. She is the only goddess that is the ruler of heaven, earth, and underworld, the three realms. And I know, like in Norse mythology, there's like 7 realms. So I'm just saying, in this case, when we refer to heaven and where we're at, and underworld, heaven, earth, I'm like, where we're at. This place called Earth. Usually it's like the 3 realms, and one rules the underworld, one rules heaven. She's the ruler of all 3. All right. So she also delivers a lot of messages during our dream time. She's the guardian of the spirit world and can see deep into the unseen and dark intuitive magic. So like the Morrigan sees and knows all. So working with the Morrigan is really giving you a heads up about what's to come. So it states here, even with Hecate, she is the goddess of seeing deeply into the future, into the threads of different paths before us, into the darkness. So that's just what I'm saying. There are multiple paths, but we make the decision, right? They don't say, oh, you sure you don't want to go C path? You're picking A, so it's just you choose, but they see the outcomes. So you can call upon her for protection when you need insight at the crossroads. We need a guide through the darkness of the underworld for divination and knowledge into the wisdom of magic. And her candles are black and silver. Well, some of the colors. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about her background and who she is. So with Hecate, like the Morrigan, there are several ways to pronounce the name and spell it. So what I would say is do the research, and I have several links in the description of this episode, and see which one works for you. Some people say Hecate. It depends. It really depends. The vibe that you're picking up. All right. So again, goddess of magic, witchcraft, and night, moon, the ghost, necromancy. She is the only child of the Titans, Perseus and Asteria. I also read in some texts Zeus is her dad. So again, there are some origin stories that are similar, and they have multiple ones. So she rules over heaven, earth, and the sea. Heaven, earth, underworld. She rules a lot. All right. She assisted Demeter in her search for Persephone, guiding her through the night with flaming torches. After the mother-daughter reunion, she became Persephone's minister and companion, and I guess as Hades. All right. So, 3 metamorphoses myths describe the origin of her animal familiars. She has a black she-dog and a polecat. That is actually the first time I have seen a cat be referenced with Hecate. So she's like the hellhounds are one of her associations. So her name means worker from afar. And then they have the masculine name Hekatos. Interesting. And this is on theoi.com. So definitely check that out. All right. Let's look at some of her associations. All right. As I said earlier, we have the 2 torches. So you see 2 torches, or torches in general. That's her. The Stropolos, which is also called the Hecate's wheel. So I would suggest Googling it because it looks pretty cool. It's actually one of the tattoos I have. The black dog, polecat, ghost. Let me see. There were other ones. Where's the other list that I wanted to use? Here we go. Crossroads, 3-headed animals. The number 3. Interesting because number 33 showed up earlier. Masking candles, horses, sheep, especially black female lambs, owls, bats, snake, and boars. Plants associated with Hecate: willows, dark yew, blackthorn, rows of trees, saffron, raisins, and currants, and gourds, especially pumpkins. Let me see. Perfumes or scents: queen of the night, cinnamon, mugwort, honey, lime, lemon, verbena. Gems and metals: sapphire, silver, gold, moonstone, black tourmaline, black onyx, hematite, smoky quartz, and any stone that is dark or luminous. And colors: black, orange, yellow, orangey yellow, and orange red. So I know that was a lot, but you can always just go back, hit the 15 seconds and go back. So those are some of her associations and why we can, or why we should work with her. When we are having decisions that we need to make, especially when there's more than one possibility of it being an outcome that we think would be favorable, it can be a little hard to make decisions, especially when we really don't have all the information, such as like that spiritual impact, right? Or maybe we are so bent on having one outcome that we're not realizing all other factors involved. So that's one of the reasons why working with Hecate is great, because that tough love, no nonsense. I will guide you. You have questions, I'll give you messages. We're going to stir this cauldron, and we're going to help you see what you truly want. Right? Because sometimes we need to go through one path to really understand what we need and want. Right. So Hecate is here to help us be friends with that darkness. Again, which is just things that just haven't come to the light, to make it less scary. Okay. Working with Hecate means to really unlock your magical gifts. Okay. It means that you are ready to not be who you once were, that you're ready to shed all of that. So that's why it's really good. It's great working with her. She's your transformational buddy. Okay. She is going to lead you based on what you want to do to that most desirable outcome. She's going to present opportunities for you. She's going to present ways for you to be you. So the way we can work with her is the same as I described with the Morgan and in previous episodes, how to work with goddesses and other divine beings is to, again, like you can light a candle, you can say her name, you can dance to her music, you can YouTube Hecate music. There's tons of it, right? Feel that energy. Ask how she wants you to, show her gratitude, and how does she want to be called into your space, right? You might get a vision to get flowers or something like that. You never know. And so when we do that, make sure you are prepared to have thick skin. Make sure you are prepared to understand that you are going to be ending certain things. By the end of this series, you are going to be a changed woman. You just are. We're going to hit a lot of points here. So this was actually a quick episode. The first one was so much longer. But with Hecate, is because I'm just hearing so many. She's not a woman of many words, and that's why this episode is short. She's not a woman of many words. She is someone who's just going to show you. She's going to take you underneath her wing. She's going to show you the process. So be ready to see these paths. I don't even care if you're crossing the street. You want to feel like everything's a crossroad, and believe in yourself and the decisions that you're making, because it's right and it's true. Start embracing that dark side of you. Okay. That side of you that is just going against the grain, that side of you that just wants to speak up more, that side of you that wants to be different. Let that shine through, because Hecate is nudging you to do that. Okay. So pay attention to what you're seeing around you. All right. Go soak up some of that nighttime magic. All right. Open a window, go for a walk if you can safely. Call her for protection magic, protecting your property, protecting you, to help just guide you through that underworld, aspect of you. All right. So you could come back with that divine knowledge and wisdom. That's what it's about, getting that divine knowledge and wisdom about yourself, for yourself, so you know what to do going forward. So she's giving you blueprints based on what you want to focus on. Okay. So pay attention to that. Again, go to YouTube, type in Hecate music, go dance a little bit, or just listen to it and relax, and ask Hecate, what should you focus on right now? What's something that's in the shadows that needs to be brought into the light? Okay. What magic should you be tapping into right now? How can you dive more into the witchiness within? Okay. And get comfortable with being misunderstood, because that's what's happening. No one, the other caterpillars, if you think about it, they can't really grasp, like a cocoon while someone's in a cocoon. It's like, oh my God, what happened to George? That's crazy. Oh no. And then he's a butterfly. He's not even on their level anymore. Like literally, he's flying. He's not lower level anymore. So be prepared for that. This is about preparation. This is about accepting the new you. This is about unlocking so much more than you could ever imagine, and realizing that your capabilities are so much more than you could ever imagine, only if you start diving into aspects of yourself that you haven't dived into or haven't even acknowledged in such a long time. Okay. So use this time of transformation, of self-reflection, of, communicating with yourself, what you truly want, what you truly need, what you truly desire. What do you truly want to do? And that's a key word. It's not just what you want to do, but truly in your heart of hearts, deep down inside, what is it? And ask Hecate, what's one thing you can do that will lead you towards that direction of fully being you, of fully doing that thing? Okay, because that's what that's about. All right, uncovering things, addressing things, shine a light on it, and then emerging as this bigger, better, bolder version of you. All right, Enchantress. So that is Goddess Hecate. Again, I thought it'd be deeper, but I just keep hearing she's not a woman of many words. She's a woman of action. So this is a time to be a woman of action. Start cleaning up house, checking, doing a mental check of people around you, things like that. And, this is the crossroads right now. So you have to make that personal commitment to yourself first and foremost. Do you want this change? Are you prepared to go through this change? We don't know how long this change is going to take, right? Like what I read at the top of this episode, but it is the most favorable outcome. The most favorable outcome. You can only win as you go through this change and complete it. It's only a win situation for you all the way around. Okay, so I'm sending you so much love. I am rooting for you as always. I'm sending you tons of blessings. Okay, we are in this together. I am just asking for Hecate to please provide you guidance if that's what you so choose, to help you along this journey. There's so much greatness for you to do. Okay, and she's here to protect you along the way. She's here to guide you. Let her do it. All right. Blessings until next time. Oh, and remember to be kind to yourself.
Thank you so much for tuning in, Magical One. Let's keep in touch. Join the VIP email list by going to tiamariejohnson.com. And as always, I'm sending you lots of love, many blessings. I'm rooting for you. And remember to be kind to yourself. Until next time.